All right, Math 87, lesson 114, page 718. We are so close to the end of the book. This is exciting, okay? Negative exponents, negative exponents. All right, negative exponents. First of all, we've already met negative exponents in scientific notation, okay? So I want to show you how to put this and change it to this. This is scientific notation. This is standard notation. Okay, so to go from scientific notation to standard notation means to move the decimal however far it tells me to do it, okay? So if we start with 1.5, we're going times 10 to the negative 3. Since this is a negative 3 up here, I want to go 3 to the left. Since this is a negative 3, in the scientific notation, I'm going to take this decimal and I'm going to go 3 to the left. 1, 2, 3. Fill that in with zeros. Equals 0.0015. This is the same as this. Okay, if I have this and I want to make it into scientific notation, I want the decimal right there. Okay, so I go 1.5 times 10. I moved it from a decimal to here. That means it's a negative exponent. Okay, if I start with a decimal, I have a negative exponent. If I have a negative exponent, I'm going to end up with a decimal. All right? Be very careful about thinking right and left on this because you get confused because you do two different things. This one here, I'm going to take the decimal and put it right there. I want one number, decimal point, and whatever I have left, times 10, and how far did I move it? Since this is a decimal number, it's a negative. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If I start with a decimal number, I have a negative exponent. If I have a negative exponent, I'm going to end up with a decimal number. Okay? It's very important you get those straight in your mind so you can go back and forth with those. All righty then. That's the easy part. Here we go. This is the other part. Now, what we have over here are exponents that are negative numbers on numbers. Okay, on numbers. The deal is I can't do the exponent with a negative number on it. Okay, I can't. I have to make that exponent positive before I can work the problem. So we have 3 to the negative 3. What that negative exponent means, now you got to hear me here. A negative exponent does not mean a negative number. This does not result in any kind of negative number at all. Okay, that in itself. What that negative exponent means is I want the inverse, the reciprocal of. Okay, remember an inverse is when we turn something over. Take the reciprocal of it. Flip it upside down. Right now, this is a fraction like that. To make this a positive exponent, I want to take this whole thing and flip it over. I want to take the inverse of this. So the 1 is on the top, and the 3 to the third is on the bottom, and now this is a positive exponent. Now I can work it. This is not a negative number. It's the inverse. 3 to the third is 27, so this is 1 over 27. 3 to the negative 3. First, you have to make that positive, okay? And you do that by taking the inverse of it. Let's see. Let me write some answers out here. So 3 to the negative 3 equals 1 over 27. We just did that. That's not an I, that's a 1. So we're going to take this one here. 1 over 2 to the negative 3. Again, that's not going to be a negative number. I want the inverse of this. That means I take the whole thing and I flip it over. That means I have 2 to the positive 3 on top over 1. 2 to the third is, 2 times 2 is 4, 4 times 2 is 8, 8. 8 over 1. Okay, that's the only way this is going to work. So if we have 1 over 2 to the negative 3, that equals 8. Okay? Now, I'm going to say some things. I want you to try to understand what I'm saying. When I have a negative exponent on a whole number like this, okay, I want to take it where it's not. -3, oh, wow, come on now. Good night. This is here. This is on the top of a fraction. If it's negative on the top, it's going to be positive on the bottom, that exponent. Like that. If it's negative on the bottom, I'm going to just take it to the top, and that gets rid of the negative. This is negative exponent. It does not mean a negative number. It means take the reciprocal of the whole taco, okay? Just don't spill out your cheese when you turn it over. If it's negative on the top of a fraction, take the whole thing to the bottom of the fraction, and the exponent becomes positive, and you can work it. If the exponent is negative on the bottom of a fraction, take it to the top of the fraction. The exponent becomes positive. You can work it. Okay, so let's look at these over here. I'm going to get rid of these two here because we just did them. Now, right here, there's options here. Okay, what did we say when we multiply and the bases are the same? What do we do with the exponents? We add them, right? So this here, we're going to work this way, is 2 to the 2 plus -3, like that. Yes? That is 2. 2 and -3 is -1. I can't leave a negative exponent on this, on a whole number. I need to make that a positive exponent. So what do I do? What do I do to take a negative exponent and make it positive? I take the inverse of it. Okay, this is a fraction. I'm going to turn it over. I'll have 1 over 2 to the 1, which is 2. 1/2. That's this right here. If the bases are the same and we're multiplying, we add the exponents. If we end up with a negative exponent, I need to make it positive before I stop. I cannot have a negative exponent. I'm not allowed to have a negative exponent on an answer on a whole number. Okay? Now this one here, we're adding. We can't do anything this. We have to work this, and we have to work this, and then we have to add them. Because exponents come before multiplication. Okay? Exponents come before multiplication up there too. So this is just 3 squared. This is 9 plus. I can't do anything with this. This is not 27. This is not -27. This is right there. I have to make it into a fraction. I have to turn it over. 1 over 3 to the third. Positive exponent. 3 to the third is 27. This is plus 1 over 27. Okay, 9 plus 1 over 27 is just 9 and 1/27. Easy breezy? Just remember this. A negative exponent on a whole number does not mean it's a negative number. It means to take the reciprocal of that number. If it's on the bottom of a fraction, turn it over, make the exponent positive, do the work. If it's on the top, make it into a fraction. It's just over 1. Turn it over, do the work. That does not mean a negative number. It means negative exponent. It means to take the reciprocal of the number.